What is up, my loves? Welcome back to my channel. Today's the week ahead video is going to be pre-recorded again because the live chat throws me off. Just throws me off. And it's nothing that you're doing that's bad. I can't do it at the same time. So pre-record awesomeness so that we can get kind of straight to the point and not spend 30 minutes. Okay. Personal growth for the collective. I'm so excited for this week, by the way. I'm going to have a really, really good, powerful meditation coming out at some point this week. So follow me on social media. Or I think I can make community posts now. So I might post it there so you guys can get that. So either follow me on Instagram or Twitter or check the community tab for really, really good meditation on getting support. And that's actually what your personal growth is for this week for the collective. What we're focusing on is allowing ourselves to receive support. And we've been talking for the past couple of months about this belief, this understanding, the concept, the truth, if you will, that human beings are an interdependent species. And so you're supposed to be connecting with one another. A lot of you in your relationship dynamics, it has been because of a role reversal dynamic that you would have had in your childhood with your parents, where you were taking on the role of the parent, taking responsibility. Some of you perceived your parents as not being able to take care of you, whether that's having the capacity to meet your emotional needs, financial needs, so on and so forth. So because of this role reversal dynamic in your early relationships where you had to take on a bulk of the responsibility, and the people who were supposed to be taking responsibility for you and caretaking you in your life, because they couldn't show up and fulfill that role that they were supposed to, you started to tell yourself this story. And you've been living and building up the momentum of this story throughout your life that you can't be taken care of, that nobody can meet your needs. And so you're the person who grew up to be the person who can support everyone else and who can help everyone else, but who is supporting you. So this week, what's happening is you're really just kind of understanding and internalizing, developing a greater, deeper understanding and knowing of the belief that there are people who can meet your needs. There are people who can support you. The universe can support you, and the universe can support you. The way that the universe supports you is by bringing in the people who can support you, bringing in the people like me with the information and wisdom and tools to support you on your emotional healing journey. Do I want to give an example? No, I don't. I want to pull cards. So this week we're talking a lot about support because of that relationship dynamic where you have the role reversal, you're taking responsibility. You've ended up in relationships where you're doing nothing but supporting other people. You're sacrificing yourself to support other people. You're sacrificing your needs to support other people. You can sit and you can talk about how, oh my God, we really want to get into this because, oh, this is so good. Okay, so put a pin in that. Talking about me for a second. Something that I really love in relationships is like taking care of people. Let me specify. In romantic relationships, one of my biggest goals and biggest desires and biggest dreams is like skincare stuff and like face masks. Amazing. I love you. So I'm going to give you everything that you need so that you have beautiful, glowing skin. And I'm also going to give you a whole bunch of crystals, and your energy is going to be so good. You're going to have just such a good, amazing life, because that's what I love doing. And I do it for work. And I also have decided that I want to do it in my romantic relationships. I don't do that in my friendships because I have already made the decision of what types of intimacy that I want in certain relationships. The support that I want from a romantic partner is not the same support that I want from my platonic friendships. And so the support that I would give a romantic partner is not the same support that I would give somebody that I was in a friendship with. And so basically, you, if this is resonating with you, you're the person who can sit and can think, oh my God, I'm going to get in a relationship and I'm going to do this and this and this for my person. And oh my God, I'm going to love them in this way. And that just feels so good, right? Loving people, taking care of people just feels so good, just feels so amazing. And so then what happens is when we awaken or we move along in our journey or certain things happen, we can start thinking like, nobody's taking care of me, so I'm not going to take care of anybody anymore, and I'm not going to give to anybody anymore. Except that doesn't actually make you happy, because taking care of people and loving on people and helping people and showing up for people in whatever way you want to show up for them, you do that because you love it. So the problem isn't what you're giving, the problem is what you're receiving. It's the amount of support that you're allowing yourself to receive. And so a lot of people who experience this pattern in their relationships can do the overcorrecting thing or misdirected correcting thing, where they go, well, I'm just not going to be a loving person anymore. Well, I'm just not going to be a giving person anymore. And I'm just not going to do this and this and this. And it's like, well, actually, that doesn't even help you, because like we said, that feels good to you. So examples, me as a friend, I am just the type of person, for the people that I love, I will move mountains. If one of my closest friends called me and was like, Nathallie, I need your help, fly across the country to come help me right now, then I absolutely would. No, I have to specify that in a different way. That feels better, because I've had to do my own cleanup work. Really, what we're doing this week, everything that we're talking about, is fine tuning. Because there's a very thin line between taking responsibility for the way that other people feel and my friend is going through something and I know that she needs emotional support and a hug and love. And because I want to be that person to show up for my friend in that way, I'm going to hop on a plane so that I can be there for you when you need me most, because that's what I'm choosing to do with this specific friend. So we've already gotten all of that out of the way. You know who you are. You know how you want to show up in your relationships. I want friends that I can go to brunch with, who I can talk about X, Y, and Z thing, da-da-da-da-da. You've already figured out yourself. Now we're focusing on, what do you want from other people? What do you want from other people? And really, you're just becoming okay with taking from other people. And we're using the word taking because to take from other people is the thing that brings up all of that resistance in your body, because you grew up in a society and with parents and within a culture that tells you it's bad to take from people. And when you're taking from people, then you're stealing from them and you're robbing them and you're hurting them. So when we're talking about taking from people, we're talking about receiving from people. It's okay to take from people, because, no, before I say that, take it back a second. One of the reasons why we have this trouble of taking from people is because we're under the impression that they don't have anything to give. I can't take from this person. I can't take more money because they don't have any money to give. I can't take more money from my company because my company is almost going bankrupt and I feel so bad asking for a raise, even though I want one so that I can go on this vacation that I want to go on. I feel so bad taking from clients who need me. I feel so bad taking. So you've kind of shown up and put yourself in this perspective of like a villain and a bad person. You have this negative connotation with receiving. To receive is to be evil and to be bad and to be greedy and all of these other things. And so this week, it's really just about becoming okay with taking from people. Because if you're taking from someone, that means that they have it to give. And we're not talking about stealing. We're disconnecting our association between taking and stealing and hurting people. And we're recognizing that taking from people isn't necessarily a bad thing. Taking from people isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially when taking from people gets my needs met, and taking from people, and I'm taking from people who have it to give to me. So, what are we doing this week? We are opening ourselves up. It's okay to take from people. It's okay to take from people who have it. And then as we're talking about support, relationship dynamics, hold on, I lost literally the first thing. Oh, yes. Okay. So you get in these relationship dynamics where you're supporting other people and you're not getting any support in return. And so you're opening yourself up to receive support from people. And that looks like taking support from people. And so if you have those bad feelings, those are the inner children that you want to start working with. You want to start thinking about all of the conversations that you have about the rich and how they are taking from people. You know, it's very interesting, this belief system and the stories that we tell about rich people getting rich by taking from people and hurting them, instead of the kind of other way of looking at it as you're giving and giving and giving and giving, and you don't have boundaries, and you don't have a sense of worthiness, and you don't have a sense of deserving, that you deserve to get, that you're worthy of getting your needs met. And so you're connecting with somebody who is taking, and they don't really have any regard for you. So really what we're doing is not placing blame to feel bad, but we're really just kind of taking a greater responsibility. We're taking a lot of misplaced responsibility off of ourselves and off of other people who are allowing themselves to receive larger sums of money. And we're just putting responsibility in the hands of who it belongs to. At the end of the day, everybody has a choice. At the end of the day, Jeff Bezos isn't breaking into people's homes going, give me your fucking credit card numbers and get a goddamn Amazon Prime membership, or I'm gonna steal your fucking kids. You know what I mean? Like, Jeff Bezos isn't threatening your life to make you want to shop at his company and do all of these things. And basically, this is just really an understanding of, like, people have responsibility. People have the capacity to become financially empowered. People do have the capacity to demand more for themselves. And it is your responsibility, regardless of your upbringing, regardless of your culture, regardless of your race, regardless of the trauma that you've experienced. It's your responsibility to learn how to become financially empowered. It's your responsibility to take responsibility for your own life and to create what it is that you're wanting to create for yourself, because nobody outside of you is going to do that for you, and nobody outside of you has the capacity to do that for you, right? There is not enough, what does Abraham Hicks say? There is not enough suffering that you can do to end the suffering of another person. We've talked about this in other videos when we talk about focusing on your own dream and focusing on what it is that you have the capacity to really truly impact and control, because you can influence other people by inspiring them, but you really cannot force somebody else to change. And so one of the things that you are all doing in the collective is you have this history of taking on responsibility for things that aren't under your sphere of influence. You take responsibility for the way that somebody else feels. You take the responsibility of the way that somebody else might respond to something that you say. And so you don't speak your mind, because that other person who might get their feelings hurt, you are operating out of the assumption that they don't have the capacity to process their own feelings and process their emotions and communicate that and communicate what's alive within them. And so some of you are showing up in the world and you're really walking on eggshells, acting like everybody else in the world is so incredibly fragile. And honestly, a majority of people in the world don't have the capacity to process their emotions and their feelings. And still, that's not your responsibility. The key to your next level and your next growth is recognizing that the way that other people respond to you is not your responsibility. Because if you've noticed, no matter how you show up, no matter how you craft yourself, no matter how you try to make yourself smaller, no matter how you try to speak in a way that doesn't hurt somebody else's feelings, if somebody is going to be triggered by something that you have to say or who you are or the way that you speak, then they're just going to be triggered, and that's just them and that's just their trauma. And it's not that you don't care about those people, and it's not that you don't want those people to be happy, but it's really about recognizing the line. It's recognizing when your hands are crossed. There are people who are super offended by tarot readings and by psychics, and they think all of this other stuff for their own religious reasons. And I'm not evil and bad for doing the work that I do. It's their responsibility not to go out of their way to seek out things that offend them. So you're just really just recognizing that in a whole bunch of different scenarios this week. What am I responsible for versus what is somebody else's responsibility? Okay, that's really, really good, because when you hand that responsibility off to those other people, then you kind of have more freedom to do what it is that you want. Because a big reason why you're not making the choices and decisions that you need to be making, not that you need to be making, that your inner being is guiding you to make, is because of how other people are going to respond. Because, and we've been talking about this for months, because somebody else might respond and think that you think that you're better than them, or because somebody else might be insulted because you established your boundaries, because somebody else might be jealous, if they feel unworthy, if they feel afraid, if they feel all of these other things that doesn't have anything to do with you. And there's nobody, sorry, I just got a text message, damn it. What was I talking about? Fuck. Oh, that just agitated me. What was I talking about? I'm really mad. Okay. You're trying too hard to please everyone. Can you be open to the possibility that some people just might not be pleased with you all of the time? And can that just be okay? And can you recognize that you do not have the capacity to control how other people interpret the things that you say? And this is where emotional maturity comes in, and the fact that it takes two people to really create, establish, and maintain a healthy relationship. Because when there's a miscommunication, two people have to feel safe enough to communicate with one another and go, oh, when you said that, what exactly did you mean by that? Oh, well, when I said that, what I meant by that was this. Or, when you said that, I kind of interpreted that to mean that you think this, and this about me. Is that what you were intending? Oh, no. Thank you so much for letting me know that that's what you interpreted. That's not what I meant. What I meant was this and this and this and this and this. It's a conversation. And this is how we talk about sometimes you guys are shying away from conflict. And sometimes conflict can be the door to greater intimacy and being able to see into another person and develop an even closer relationship with them. So avoiding conflict isn't helping you grow into your next level, because some people you think are mad at you and they're actually not mad at you, and they actually don't care, and they actually don't have those reactions, and you're just kind of projecting onto them that they will have those reactions. And so having those conversations will really be helpful to getting you to the next level. Sometimes you don't want to have the conversations, and that's okay. Sometimes you also recognize that, okay, I'm actually just talking to somebody who's not safe for me to communicate how I feel, and then you just decide, I don't want to connect with that person anymore, and I don't want to rendezvous with that person anymore. So taking it back to our kind of first messages, we're talking about support. You are showing up this week and you're opening yourself up to connect with people who have the capacity to support you, like you have the capacity to support them. One of the things that we see a lot on social media is this whole, my mistake is that I expect people to love the way that I love. You're not the only person in the world that wants to support people. You're not the only person in the world that wants to love people and wants to show up for them. Your point of attraction is People don't show up for me. People don't love the way that I love. Nobody ever meets my needs. And that's why you haven't rendezvoused with those people, but they're out there and they exist. And so this week you're just showing up and you're opening yourself up for people who have the capacity to support you to come into your life and to do so because you're recognizing that you need support. You need the support of friends. You need the support of loved ones. We have a need for a sense of community and a sense of belonging and a sense of being loved. And so some of you believe that allowing in more success means that you have to walk away from your sense of community. And so this means that in order to allow yourself to receive this next level of success and this next level of wealth, you've got to find a community. I am now opening myself up to people who can be new members of my community, to people who have the capacity to support me and celebrate my wins and celebrate my successes. I now want to connect with more people who feel worthy of love because I do want to sit and have conversations with women about their plans for their business and courses that they're launching or ideas that they have as it relates to social justice and different problem solving things and all of my various passions and all of that good stuff. That's a really big need for me. And another thing that you're also recognizing this week is that the people that you're walking away from aren't meeting your needs. The only need that they're meeting for you is your need for community. And so as we keep talking about specifying, I don't just want a community. I don't just want to be in a room full of people who don't get me, who don't see me, that I can't have a fun time with. I want a sense of community that is based in genuine, authentic connection and genuine, authentic alignment with one another, right? We have actual desires. I don't just want to hang out with a friend and say, yes, I want to get this apartment and the rent is like $4,000 a month. And that friend goes, oh my God, that's so much money, because that doesn't make me feel good. And I'm on the journey of becoming the woman who feels like $4,000 a month, it's not a lot of money. It's the amount of money that I need to get the apartment that I want. So it's the amount of money that I'm paying for rent. That's it. That person does not need to be surrounded by people who think, oh my God, I could never imagine paying $4,000 for rent. This is you showing up this week and recognizing that you actually care about the way that you feel. And if I care about the way that I feel, I can no longer rendezvous with people that don't care about the way that they feel. People that don't care about the way that they feel are more focused on, oh my God, that's too expensive. I can't have that. I need to get a sale. I need to get a deal. I need to get the things that cost the least amount of money possible, regardless of whether or not they taste worse or are of less quality. I just need to save the most money because money is limited, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Those people don't feel good. People who are allowing in money are people who are allowing in support, and they're people who care about the way that they feel. They care about the way that they feel. Luxury items are expensive AF, and it's not being targeted to people who can't afford it, because luxury items are targeted to people who care about how they feel and people who want to feel good. And if I want to feel good and I care about how I feel, then I value the way that I feel. And if I value the way that I feel, then I'm going to pay whatever the fuck needs to be paid to get this thing that is going to make me feel better. That's going to be a better feeling experience. Everybody in the world is not flying first class. Everybody in the world is not flying on a private jet, because everybody in the world doesn't care enough about how they feel when, I don't want to say care enough, everybody in the world doesn't care about how they feel when they are waiting in a really long line. Everybody in the world doesn't care about how they feel when they are in a crowded airport. Everybody in the world doesn't care about how they feel when they are in small seats on an airplane with people all over them. Everybody doesn't care about that doesn't feel good for them. And when you care about that something doesn't feel good for you, then you're going to invest, then you're going to do whatever needs to be done so that you can align with something that feels better for you, so that you can align with something that's more comfortable for you. This week, you're kind of making that transition into, we could even say, a more luxurious lifestyle, whether that's because you're allowing in more money, aka allowing in more support, or you're just allowing in a better feeling living environment, a better feeling working environment. You're recognizing, oh wait, I actually do give a shit about how I feel. And when I connect with people who don't feel good, when I connect with people who are having shitty lives and it's just one drama after the next, and it's just one struggle after the next that actually feels like shit, and I don't want to hang out with you anymore because I want a sense of community, but I want a sense of community that is uplifting to me. I want a sense of community that feels like camaraderie and not competition. I want a sense of community that feels like I'm winning, you're winning, we're all winning. I'm so happy for you, you're so happy for me. We're just all full of joy. We're so elated. Look around. Isn't this so amazing? I want a sense of community of people that genuinely feel better. And this feeling bad can show up in so many ways. There are people in this industry who I don't want to be close friends with, not because they're not good people, not because they don't feel good, but because they will talk about government conspiracies and all of that shit, and that doesn't feel good to me. It doesn't feel good to me. I don't buy into it, and all of that other stuff, I really don't give a fuck, and that's a whole nother story for another time. But basically, I care about how I feel, so I'm not going to sit around and connect with people and talk with people for long periods of time who only want to talk about all of the negative things happening in the world and all of the bad things that are happening behind the scenes, and how there are these unseen, invisible forces who have to hide behind corporations and blah, 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 who are doing all of this stuff to oppose all of this good and all of these things that you're doing in the world. It just doesn't align with me. Because my belief is my inner being wants what I want, and I'm the creator of my reality, and I want all of these amazing improvements to happen in my life, and my inner being knows where I am in relation to those improvements, and my inner being is guiding me along the journey to that. And so whatever somebody else is doing in their own bad feeling stream doesn't have shit to do with what I'm doing here. And so I'm going to reach my goals. That is inevitable. I don't need to focus on that. And so it's recognizing that me and the life experience that I'm choosing to have and the beliefs that I have, it doesn't feel good to hang out with people who don't believe that. It doesn't feel good to hang out with people who are financially disempowered. It doesn't feel good to hang out with people who don't have the same level of emotional maturity that I have, that I am cultivating right now. Because when you're showing up with people and they're calling you on the phone and they're talking about problems in their life and they're asking you for advice, and you're going, no, wait a damn minute, I'm not getting paid for this. Why am I showing up and helping you and giving you all of these tools that I have done all of this work to learn, to establish, and to cultivate? I'm giving you these tools for free because you're my friend? And you're not giving me shit back, but I have to give that to you because we're friends and that's what friends do? I don't think so. It doesn't feel good to hang out with people who aren't emotionally mature. It doesn't feel good to hang out with people who you can't go and actually have a conversation. It doesn't feel good to have conversations with people who can't express what's alive within them, who can't communicate their feelings and emotions, who have to be manipulative in order to get their needs met. It doesn't feel good. When you reach a certain point in your journey, having conversations with people who feel unworthy of love doesn't feel good. Having conversations with my clients feels great because I am the vibrational dominant in the call, and my clients are vibing up to connect with me, and I'm helping them to release that. That's a completely different atmosphere that we've cultivated in my day-to-day life, in my friendships, with people that I'm hanging out with. I came here for brunch, girl. I didn't come here to do childhood trauma stuff. I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about the new bag. I want to talk about the new raise. I want to talk about the trip that we're taking to Costa Rica. These are the only things that I want to discuss right now. So it's just recognizing that, oh, I am now the person who cares about how they feel. I care about how I feel. And so if I care about how I feel, that means I need to be able to identify how I feel. When I'm not feeling good, I need to understand how to process those feelings and emotions so that I can get back to feeling good. Because that's my default feeling. It is feeling good. It's being in alignment with my inner being. It's being in alignment with source. I don't need to spend time feeling bad when I don't have to feel bad. You're just recognizing that you had been having a lived experience with a lot of people who are just used to feeling bad, who just don't care enough about how they feel to commit to feeling better and to follow their inner beings on that journey to feeling better. An example, you're connecting with somebody who is always talking about, I have to lose weight, I have to lose weight, I have to lose weight, but they don't stay committed to their diets. I'm not saying that you need to get on a diet or any of that other shit. At some point, you have to recognize that person isn't as committed as I am to actually feeling good. Because they say that they're going to do something and then they don't follow through with that thing. And that's okay. That's them. That's their journey. Those are the people that I want to work with as clients, not the people that I want to have as friends. And that's okay, because I care about the way that I feel. And I care about the way that I feel more than I care about how you feel. This week, you're learning and recognizing that it's okay to value how you feel over other people. You should value how other people feel, and you should care about how other people feel, and you should absolutely care about having other people feel good, not more than how much you care about yourself feeling good. Does that make sense? So I want you to feel good and I want you to feel happy. You feel good and you feel happy when you connect with me, because when you connect with me, everybody feels amazing when they connect with me, because I'm so connected to my inner being and source energy, and I just feel like love, and I just admit it throughout my heart and just feel the spaces that I walk into. Awesome sauce. So you feel good when you're connecting with me, but I don't feel good when I'm connecting with you. And so I'm going to limit my time that I connect with you, even if that means you don't get to feel good because you're not in my presence. I know and I understand that you feeling good is your responsibility. And if you want to feel good, then you can start becoming more aware, like I did, of your inner being who is always nudging you and who is always calling you to feel good. You're recognizing that other people feeling good does not need to be your priority. Example, I have somebody texting me that they need a file. They need it as soon as possible. I'm doing my job right now. That supports me completely. And so they're going to get that file the second that I'm done giving my messages that I need to do for my job. Past me, parts of my inner child are like, oh my God, I need to hurry up and finish this video so that I can go and do what they need me to do. No, because that looks like sacrificing myself to make somebody else happy. That's people pleasing. Aha, that's our phrase. This week, you're done people pleasing. Other people can be unhappy and other people can figure other stuff out, because every single person has an inner being who is always guiding them to their goals. Every single person on earth, there is not a person on earth who doesn't have a soul. You can be pinched off super a lot from your inner being. You still have one. You still have a connection to source energy, because everything is source energy. So everybody's inner being has the capacity to get them to their desires and to get them to their goals. Just because you're not the person that can get them to their desires, or just because you're no longer the person who's going to get them their desires and get them their goals, doesn't mean that they're going to be shit out of luck. It is not your responsibility to take care of everyone and to make everybody happy, especially when it's not getting your needs met. When we talk about showing up and being a support for others, It's when people are showing up and being able to support you. With my clients, I show up and I support you emotionally, and I support you on this emotional journey towards your goals that you are taking. And in exchange, you are supporting me financially. That's our agreement. That's a mutually beneficial relationship. That's genuine, authentic connection. That's something that feels good. As the woman who cares about how she feels, I can't sign on and work with clients who aren't meeting my needs because that doesn't feel good to me. As a client who cares about how they feel, you shouldn't sign on to work with a coach who doesn't feel good to you and who can't meet all of your needs. Caring about how you feel is now determining what deals you sign on to, who you decide to work with, what projects you decide to work on, what work you decide to do, who you decide to be friends with, what type of people you decide to rendezvous with. Spirit is saying one of the things that we really want to focus on this week is getting specific on what it is that we want instead and what it is that we are moving towards. We want, 3 cards from here, and then we're going to pull 2 cards from the Sacred Rebels Oracle. Let's see if there's anything else the Spirit wants to say for this week ahead. We have the Queen of Pentacles, because ultimately this is about taking care of yourself, loving yourself, and nurturing yourself. When you're sacrificing yourself, you're neglecting yourself. You're not loving yourself. Not caring about how you feel is not loving yourself. And you have been showing up in the world trying to focus on loving other people and taking care of other people for a myriad of inner children behind the scenes reason. It doesn't even matter, because at this point you're recognizing, no, I actually care about how I feel. I care about my enjoyment of life. I care about me being fulfilled. And if I care about how I feel and I care about my enjoying life, that means that I'm not signing on to do work with jobs where my needs aren't getting met. And my inner being knows where the job is, where the client is, where the friendship is, where the relationship is, that's going to be able to meet my needs. And so I would rather wait and allow my inner being to guide me to that person than settle and not get my needs met, because not getting my needs met doesn't feel good. Recognizing that I care about how I feel. I care about how I feel, so I don't want to live in this environment. I care about how I feel, so I want to live in my own apartment because that will feel better. I want a higher paying job because that will feel better. I want higher paying clients because that will feel better. I want what I want because it will feel better. It will feel better than my current living experience. I care about how I feel. A lot of the times we feel like we have to justify why we want what we want. Why do you want more money? Why do you want more things? I want it because I want more of the tool that I can use to take empowered action, inspired action towards my goals, dreams, and desires. I want a new camera and a really awesome fucking lens. And one of the things that I want to do, because I've specified that the way that I want to receive these gadgets and things that I'm aligning with right now is from a place of financial empowerment and freedom and pride. And so a part of those inspired actions, because I've specified that I want to feel that way when I receive these things, is that I'm not open to getting them as a gift. That means I must be the person to allow in that money so that I can make these purchases, so that I can get that manifestation. That means in order to do that, I must allow in more money. Sometimes with your manifestations, you can just say, hey, I want this thing. Whether or not it comes from me paying for it or not, doesn't matter. I just want that experience. So you get to decide how it is that you want to feel when you're receiving something, and that will help you as you are specifying. Okay. What else? We have 2 more cards that are coming through from the universe. You're doing a lot of inner child healing work, a lot of nurturing, a lot of caring for yourself, connecting with yourself and communicating to yourself. It's okay to feel that way. So I have to give you me as an example. My inner children who were, I had an association between receiving and guilt because I was receiving in my childhood from people who just made me feel unworthy. They didn't have it, trauma, whatever. So my point of attraction is people can meet my needs, but because I don't feel worthy of support, well, up until now, people can meet my needs because I don't feel worthy of support. I'm going to be a vibrational match for people who can meet my needs, but then make me feel like I'm indebted to them. That doesn't feel good. And so the nurturing that I had to do with my inner child is having this moment of going, no, we don't have to rely on people that don't make us feel good. We don't have to rely on anybody that doesn't make us feel good. I'm not going to take this action. I'm not going to call this person. I'm not going to ask this person for help because we don't have to rely on people that don't make us feel good. I'm instead opening myself up to the universe. I am allowing in support from the universe. I'm allowing myself to be taken care of with love. I'm allowing myself to be taken care of in a way that feels better. And so all of the people who can support me in a way that feels good, in a way that feels empowering, in a way that feels like love, in a way that feels like joy, in a way that feels like fun, in a way that feels like growth and inspiration and expansion, I'm allowing myself to align with those people instead. So you're going to be doing a lot of nurturing with the energy of the Seven of Cups. You're going to be doing a lot of visualizations, meditation. You want my meditation? I'm literally going to record it after I finish this video. It's going to be a meditation on allowing yourself to receive more support. You need to spend more time, whether it's this meditation or another one, whether you're just sitting and breathing in through your nose 3, holding it for 3, exhaling for a count of 6, just sitting with yourself and calling in that energy that you're wanting to, experience, okay? Tapping into that energy and tapping into that new vibration. That's what's happening when you are meditating. When you're meditating, you're slowing down old momentum and you're building up a new momentum so that you can spend more and more time feeling better and better for longer and longer. Meditation is going to be a really good one. Guided meditations, visualizations, because your spirit guides want to talk to you and want to have those conversations. There's certain clarity. Like I did a visualization and got connected with a spirit guide, and the message the spirit guide was literally just like pointing me and was just like doing it was like run, basically, like you get out, like it's time to go, it's time to move in this direction. And so those were messages that I had felt, and I needed that confirmation, and I needed to feel like support. And so that support that I got from actually sitting and seeing my spirit guide come to me and tell me, no, it's time to go, and here is your carriage, and here's your dress, etc., etc. Having that moment, and then maybe being able to go and do a tarot reading and being like, oh my God, that vision I saw was real, huh? And it's like, yes, that was your spirit guide, and yes, it's time to go. It's like getting that validation, really stepping further into that vibration. It's establishing new beliefs, okay? You're establishing new beliefs, and this is going to come from the spiritual. So you need to spend more time in the spiritual. You need to spend more time consciously meditating, consciously connecting. Okay, we have the 9 of Pentacles, strength. Oh my God, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Knight of Pentacles. That fell. Give me a second. And the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so you're going to be receiving a lot of messages of value, maybe offers for more money with the energy of the 9 of Pentacles. This is really about valuing yourself, valuing your life experience, valuing what you bring to the table, connecting even deeper with yourself as a soul, seeing yourself as special, really identifying your own spiritual strength and your own power. It's recognizing this week, I'm actually the creator. I'm actually the creator of my reality. And I don't have to ask anybody outside of me. I am always being guided with the energy of the Knight of Pentacles. You're just recognizing, you're opening yourself up to recognizing more and more how your inner being is always guiding you. So you might be actually looking back, 5 of Cups, to start structuring the stories that you're telling yourself. You're looking back and you're going, oh my God, when I left college, I did feel disappointed in myself, and I did feel like a failure because I didn't get the degree. And I've been telling myself for all these years that I'm a disappointment and I never do the right thing. But a different way of looking at it is you left college because you successfully started a business that your inner being guided you every single step of the way to creating this platform for yourself and then making that profitable and monetizing it. There are people who are investing thousands of dollars in courses to learn how to do something that you just did that came to you naturally because you were connected to your inner being and taking your inspired action. And so now this is a story about how when I am connected to myself, I can literally do all things through my inner being who strengthens me, my inner being who knows where I am in relation to my desires and goals. And then I can look at a whole bunch of other situations and scenarios where I only got to that next level because I followed my inner being out of everything. And now I get to look back on those experiences in a much better feeling way. You're really just allowing your inner being to help you shift your focus, your attention, and your beliefs this week with the Wheel of Fortune. That's definitely what we're doing. Meditations are the thing that's really, really going to help you. We're really, yeah. Meditations are really going to help you start reframing, start calling in new energy, start releasing other energy, because you do have energy that is stagnant within your body. You also might want to do some dancing and some movement. We've got lots of pentacles, so a lot of this energy is going to be very grounded in this physical realm. You want to do root chakra work, solar plexus, and sacral chakra work, lower chakras. It's safe to receive more. You don't feel safe to receive more because if you don't have a sense of community, your needs aren't getting met. You don't feel safe. So I want to feel safe to receive more money. I want to feel safe to receive more income. Meditation is going to help you achieve this greater feeling of safety and security to step into this next level of your life. And you're just recognizing that this has been such a natural progression for you. It's been a step-by-step thing, okay? If you are ready and open to receiving support on your journey, of course, you can come and work with me. If you are ready to get more specific about what it is that you're wanting, you can get my free digital journal, Creating Your Life Journal. That's the name of it. You can get that using the link in the description box below. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you can get from me. So make sure to check out the links in the description box. I have a deck for you to start connecting more with your feelings, an affirmation deck that will help you gain more awareness of your subconscious beliefs, all of that good stuff. It's all in the description box. Love you guys so much, and I will see you next week.